All right, so let's talk about Christian McCaffrey, arguably the 49ers' best player, but we're not going to talk about him as a wide receiver, as you'll see here. So McCaffrey actually had 19 carries, with 4 of those registering as explosive plays, so carries over 15 yards. 4 out of 19, you'll take those odds every day. So let's get into how the 49ers were able to generate those explosive runs. So like the pre-snap motion has to be a headache for defenses to account for. As you can see right here, the safety starts to walk down, the defensive tackle moves over, the linebackers are talking nonstop. Then George Kittle comes across motion, and as you can see, there's the explosive play. But from the end zone angle, we'll get a better look to see exactly how the 49ers were able to generate this big play. So here's how the motion affects the gaps. So we have a one technique, and that just means defensive tackle shaded in the A gap. And now, as you can see, they're talking. He takes this defensive tackle from being in the B gap. Now he's in the A gap, and now he's in the strong side B gap, but it's even across the board. So I guess you can say there's really no strong or weak side. So the motion pretty much just bumps the defensive tackles both over a gap. We have a B gap that is naked. In the most simple terms, you just run to where they aren't, right? Run to the open B gap. And we can see how that adjusts the blocking schemes for the 49ers. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey gets a nice cutback here. But now your right tackle gets a chance to climb. There's no defensive tackle for him to block down on, so he can just climb to the second level. He doesn't have to go. It's so much easier for everybody. They don't even have to block this linebacker. Debo tries to dig him out, but he has so long to go, and he has to hold, right? Because you have the split zone action, meaning the tight end's going to come across the formation. So you effectively don't have to block a guy just by motioning. Debo's able to at least, somewhat get there. Doesn't really matter. But, just see all of the moving parts and how that creates space. Look at that whole cutback lane to run through for McCaffrey, and then you can just use the speed, for a big play. The reason Kyle Shanahan is brilliant is when he sees something that works, he goes back to it. And we see a lot of coordinators across the league, when something works for them, unlike the opening script, they never come back to it. Here we are, and the last one was 12 personnel. This time it's 22. The only thing that really changes is, instead of Kyle Juszczyk, it's Elijah Mitchell. And this time he's going to be the guy who goes in motion. A lot of the same things, right? And as you can see, George Kittle is going to come with that split zone action. So they're going to leave this end unblocked, and that's who Kittle's going to come and kick out. And then how about Juwan Jennings? Comes down, cracks him out of the picture. Just about as good as you can ask blocking-wise. McCaffrey really doesn't have to do anything but run straight. So, just like last time, right? What does the motion do? Takes the defensive tackles over a gap, makes life easier for these two to block down. And again, that motion, split zone action, I should say, means you really don't have to block him, but because he dives so far inside, he does the work for Jennings. So you get your second consecutive explosive run of the quarter. Just by sound blocking scheme, a lot of pre-snap motion, getting the defensive out of their original gaps. That's pretty good right there. Okay, so this is a different play. We just showed an explosive out of 21 personnel, out of 22 personnel, and this is 11 personnel. So 3 wide receivers, tight end, 1 running back. 1, 1, and then 3 right here. So this is power, and that just means the backside guard is going to pull across the formation. As we can see, John Feliciano does that, but it's not power because it's Kyle Shanahan. So there's always going to be multiple moving parts, and that is Deebo Samuel faking the end around, and you're not going to go with Deebo Samuel, right? Watch how Deebo affects the linebacker in the middle. So he has to step out. Now he's out of the play. And if we go to the end zone angle, so we're watching 54, right? Once he takes just that false step and takes himself out, that allows Kittle to climb after so power blocking rules is everybody right here is just blocking down into the gap. Pretty simple. and then the backside guard is going to come out and kick out whoever is on the end man of the line of scrimmage. So Kittle's able to block down, gets caught up in the trash a little bit, but because he takes himself out of the play, he has plenty of time to step up and seal 54. Juwan Jennings, as always, does a really nice job of getting inside. So he's looking to block down. If we're watching Juwan Jennings here, he's looking, hey, who do I have? He doesn't identify anybody, so he just goes to the next level, first threat, and now he seals Jamal Adams. This is where you need a good running back, because this play should be dead in the water, right? So, cornerback, one-on-one, Christian McCaffrey. Most running backs in this situation would probably try to bounce and just beat him in a foot race outside. Not this guy. So that's what happens when you just put your foot in the ground and get upfield. It helps to be fast and quick and shifty, but, I mean, that's a hell of a move. There's no doubt about it. But really good concept, really good blocking scheme. And, of course, I mean, you have one of the best backs, if not the best running back in the NFL, to make a guy miss, to make another guy miss. How many guys does he make miss? Cornerback, runs to an arm tackle, explosive play. All right, so this is Shanahan's run game diversity at its finest. So we've shown an explosive in 21 personnel. We've shown one in 22 personnel. We've shown one in 11 personnel. How about a little 12 personnel? And that's just 2 wide receivers, 2 true tight ends, not Kyle Juszczyk, but Charlie Warner, and then 1 running back. And this is just good old-fashioned outside zone, Shanahan staple. Like, everybody's going to run to the left, try to cut their man off, reach him, and if they can't reach him, and by reach I mean, here's what I mean. So when you go to reach, you're trying to get to the outside shoulder of whoever that nearest defender is. So Banks is trying to get to his outside shoulder. Trent is trying to get to his outside shoulder. Same all across the board, right? And then the running back will just choose his path from there. Watch Banks here. I think Banks does a really nice job of sealing the linebacker. So he's aiding live. Cuts him off. You see how you block in. And then, as I said, McCaffrey can just pick a lane, right? If he wants to cut back, if he wants to keep pressing outside, like, you have options. And that's one of the best parts about outside zone is there's really no wrong way to go. Looks like an obvious face mask there. I'm surprised they didn't call it. Not too surprised, I should say. Watch 85 on the edge here. Like, they are able to run left because of 71 and because of what 85 does on plays like this. And it is a lot of plays like this where, I mean, it's a safety, but when you have a mismatch, you have to dominate him, and Kittle does that a lot. So again, like, McCaffrey's job isn't difficult here. Just keep pressing the line of scrimmage, wait to see a cutback. There are no real cutbacks. Another explosive. So 4 different explosive plays out of 4 different personnel. That is a great sign for the 49ers run game moving forward.